Shermy and Shake. The Not-So-Nice Neighbor. Chapter 5. July. Books are boring. What? That's the chapter title? I don't think books are boring at all. Well, some can be boring. Try to make a connection. Shermy set up everything just right under the tree. No wrinkles on the blanket. A bowl full of cheese crackers. A tall glass of lemonade with 3 ice cubes. A brand new library book. He flopped down on his stomach and dived in. You're reading again? Shake peeked over the fence. Don't you want to play street hockey? No. Shermy pushed his glasses up on his nose before turning the page. It made a loud crinkling noise. He didn't usually make loud crinkling noises when he turned the page. Shake climbed over the fence and flopped down next to Shermy. So, what's this one about? A story. Shermy took 2 crackers and kept reading. Shake scooped up a handful of crackers. He crunched loud. Shermy marked his place with his finger. Shake, I am trying to read. Do you want to go to the park? Shake asked. We could play Space Explorers. Not even Shake's helmet could tempt Shermy away from his book. He finished another page. Pretty soon, something tickled his ear. He brushed it away. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Shermy looked up. Shake held a long piece of grass. He tried to tickle Shermy's ear with it again. Cut it out! Shermy batted the grass away. Let me read. Shake sat quietly for a few minutes. Shermy finished chapter 1. This is boring, said Shake. Not for me, said Shermy. Shake took off his flip-flops and stuck them on his ears. Well, it is for me. Shermy didn't look up from his book. Maybe I'll play street hockey by myself. When Shake jumped up, he kicked over Shermy's lemonade, drenching the blanket and crackers. Shermy rescued the library book in the nick of time. Now look what you've done, Shermy said. It's not my fault. Shake grabbed the book. It happened because you always want to read, not play. He jumped over the fence, taking the book with him. You better give that back, Shermy hollered. Shermy, Mom called from the kitchen. Time for lunch. Shermy stomped inside. I hope Shake goes home soon, he said. I know you don't mean that, said Mom. Yes, I do. He picked at his tuna fish sandwich. All I want is a plain old summer, like normal. Mom set a glass of water next to his plate. She brushed his hair out of his face. It's almost time to pick the girls up at the library. How about if I treat you to an ice cream cone on the way? Shermy doubted that even ice cream could make things better, but he didn't want to hurt Mom's feelings. Okay. When they got back, he'd get his book from Shake. Maybe take something of his while he was at it. Mom let Shermy get a double-decker cone. He chose licorice and bubblegum. Ew, said Mom. Hers was plain old strawberry. 1 scoop. Yum, said Shermy. He picked out the bits of bubblegum to wrap it in a napkin. He put it in his treasure box to save for later. When they got home, Shake was lounging on the front porch, drinking a carton of jumping juice and reading Shermy's book. You were right, Shake said. Shermy stopped. About what? It's a good story, said Shake. I'm up to where they capsized the canoe. That's where I left off, Shermy said. Shake ran his finger down the page. You want to hear what happens next? Shermy covered his ears. No! Shake sighed. Here you go. He handed the book back to Shermy in slow motion. Then he trudged back to his grandma's house. Shermy settled under the tree again. The blanket was still wet, so he just sat on the grass. He opened the book. The 2 kids in the story were in a tight spot. They managed to get to shore, but they'd forgotten to pack a map. Imagine forgetting something that important. Like forgetting fireworks on the 4th of July. Shermy looked over and saw Shake swinging all by himself on his grandma's big hammock. He was watching the clouds the way they'd watched the stars that night at the bay. "Hey, want to read this together?" Shermy called. Shake scooted over on the hammock. "Come on over." They got everything set up just right. Shake shared his jumping juice with Shermy. Shermy shared his bubble gum with Shake. Together, they shared the book right up to the very last delicious word.